audience has ever experienced financial hardships? How about befriending people that never intended to care or treat you fairly? Okay. How many of us grew up in a single parent home? I did as well. My name is Michael Mack, and today this leads me to my topic that I'll be discussing, my topics, I should say: self-honesty, self-love, and self-respect. We will discuss the meanings and examples of these terms. Self-honesty provides you with the ability to accept no matter the circumstances. In order to practice self-honesty, we must first understand what self-honesty is. Cora defines self-honesty as being welcoming of the truth. Christopher D. Conner communicates his meaning of self-honesty as being real with yourself as well as others. Example being the want to become healthier. To gain weight or lose weight, we must first accept where we are at that time and then be able to set that goal so that we can move forward and actually meet it. Being honest with yourself provides clarity when dealing with real life situations. Self-love serves as another vital virtue. Magda K gives her definition of self-love on Braveville.com as an unconditional feeling of love, appreciation, and acceptance of oneself. Through self-love, almost anything in life can be accomplished. If you could please direct your attention to my visual aid that I will be using to also help me explain self-love. This here is Abraham Maslow's pyramid of his hierarchy of needs and how he explained it. He also wrote a book in 1943 on this exactly. It basically speaks about the certain level of needs that we have before we get to what you see as the peak, which is self-actualization, which is, you can say, is you've mastered yourself, your best self. You as an individual, the best that you can be. So you have different level of needs. What I would like to zone in on is esteem. Esteem, as we usually know and refer to it as in our society, is self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves, which, if you ask me, ties directly into self-love. And as you can see here on this pyramid, you have physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and then your best self. So it should be able to tell you something. It should speak volumes of where esteem sits on the pyramid, being second from the top, how important that actually is. Self-respect helps fulfill the foundation of all virtues. YourDictionary.com clarifies, this is holding yourself in esteem and believing that you are good and worthy of being treated well and treated fairly. An example being you forming a habit of saying excuse me when attempting to move past one or another person. By you forming that habit and practicing that custom, you're going to expect it in return, no matter who it is, because you practice it. You're going to expect that other individual to say excuse me when trying to pass you, instead of rudely moving past, as we see a lot of people do. Truth be told, we all hold the free will to do and say whatever we want. We're free to do that. Another example could be respecting yourself within a relationship by being honest, by loving yourself and pursuing better in each other. Although in the beginning, this is looked at as a simple task, anybody that's ever actually been in or endured through a committed long relationship will be able to tell and see that there's actually true complexity to that, having a relationship long-term, a serious one. In conclusion, we have discussed the definitions of self-honesty, self-love, and self-respect. We have reviewed examples and meanings from different sources and of these terms. As we all have witnessed people in the world, people in society, and people even in our own families that have failed in these areas. These three pillars serve as key ingredients for the foundations that should be laid for us as individuals. It all starts with us, right here at the individual level. Charles Bukowski once said, if you have the ability to love yourself, if you have the ability to love, love yourself first.